What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. I am fresh off of the Spiel Community Day and decided to play some sets with Walrein and see what I could throw together. So I built a kind of unbalanced ABA team with a Walrein lead, Altaria on the close, and Jellicent safe swap. Kind of running double nuke Jelly to avoid getting completely walled by things like Wigglytuff. But I think I might actually switch that since Walrein offers a lot of ice coverage, and then at least when you swap in with Jelly, you have the option to Bubble Beam and kind of tank. The thing is, yeah, Jelly really doesn't want to use shields on this team since Altaria really needs them and Walrein needs them. So definitely debating trying Bubble Beam instead. A lot of counters early on. Fighter lead with Sableye in the back is definitely a problem, and Scrafty is a real core breaker for this team. So definitely has kinks to be worked out, but I played 3 sets with this team, and they were all positive, so I kind of stitched together some games from each, and we'll definitely be tweaking this team before running it again, but I think it's definitely safe to give it a try if you have these pretty accessible Pokemon. And if you happen to do the community day and get yourself a double legacy Walrein. So kind of in the middle of game 1 here, or at least of the first game that I have here recorded, up against Sableye, and unfortunately, if you saw, Sableye switched into Jellicent, so very comfortable matchup for Sableye. He was able to just give up a shield and straight Shadow Claw down, so he was able to get off 3 foul plays, or she was able to get off 3 foul plays against Altaria there, putting me in the red. I blind swapped to Walrein there, expecting their Walrein to come back in, but it's actually Swampert, so it actually would have been better for me to stay in with Altaria since Mudshot does nothing to it, so even in the red, he would have been forced to throw energy if he didn't want me to Dragon Breath him down, or at least get a move off before going down. Now here I kind of blew it. I wasn't expecting Sludge Wave. I thought maybe Hydro Cannon bait, or even a potential Earthquake, but I suppose Earthquake would have done even more. But anyway, he gets the Sludge Wave, which I did not shield. I was trying to save my shield for the Walrein Mirror. He ends up letting this Earthquake go, even though I think he figures at this point he can close the game out with Swampert. So he lets that go, is able to throw at me. I shield here, just trying to see if there's any way for me to salvage this game. With the energy that I have here, I'm able to throw another Icicle Spear, hoping to get his last shield, because obviously the Earthquake would have taken him out here. But I throw the Icicle Spear, which really does nothing, which is kind of good information for me, definitely learning the Walrein Mirror. Icicle Spear obviously is double resisted, so it really doesn't do anything at all. Like you'll see here, he's in the red already. I'm throwing Icicle Spear into him, and well, actually he shields that, but you'll see right here when he throws it at me, even though I'm probably at like less than 20% there, Icicle Spear is not going to be enough to get the KO. Or yeah, see, I still have a sliver of health there, so it really does nothing in the mirror. You definitely have to go straight Earthquake in the mirror, because Icicle's really not doing much, but even Earthquake, because Walrein is somewhat on the bulkier side, and it's not a stab move, will usually not get the shield in the mirror, so you're pretty safe to just go straight Earthquake, as I've learned. In game 2 here, it's a Shadow Walrein mirror, so yeah, they hit harder, but you know, they're less defensive, obviously, so Earthquake is really kind of an issue for both of us. He's going to get his move first. I was just kind of holding on to energy just in case he wanted to try to catch something. I end up throwing my Earthquake as well, which I believe he also lets go. So yeah, now we're both kind of in the yellow there. Start to build to a second Earthquake. He throws his Icicle Spear. Again, like I said, people probably aren't that familiar with this matchup yet, so he's throwing his Icicle Spear here, maybe thinking he can pick up a KO, but it's not going to be enough. He could have potentially swapped out to catch this, but he doesn't, and I'm able to get to that second Earthquake, and I believe he lets this go. Yeah, so I'm going to be able to win switch at least, or win the lead rather. So now Medicham comes in and gets a little farm down. That's kind of how I wanted to have that go. Obviously, you don't want to get a big farm, so Just a couple counters is fine. I can come in with Jellicent, who's very comfortable in this matchup, since Medicham really doesn't have any moves it can throw that aren't resisted, or at least, I guess Psychic does neutral, but it really doesn't hit Jellicent quite that hard. So I'm able to soak up that Psychic. Now Hypno comes in. I throw the Shadow Ball. I think what happened here is he probably might have expected this to be a bait because he lets it go and it does more than half. Now I'm able to come in with Altaria, and I feel like a lot of Hypno aren't running Ice Punch in this meta anymore. They're running Thunder Punch and Shadow Ball typically. It's rare to see an Ice Punch, so I believe I let the... Oh, I did shield... Yeah, expecting the Shadow Ball. That's right. So I'm able to shield and just farm down, save my energy. That way I can throw a Sky Attack to pressure this Medicham right away. And now things are looking pretty good here because he has to give up a shield on that Sky Attack. We're even shields. I have a pretty healthy Jellicent in the back who can already win this one shield. So even if he has Ice Punch here, I'm willing to let that go. Just because, like I said, Jellicent with one shield is going to be able to close this out for me. I get to another Sky Attack in spite of the Ice Punch, because obviously it's not a stab Ice Punch, so even though it's double super effective, it's not quite enough to pick up that KO. I throw the Sky Attack, and I don't want to get that little extra bit of farm, so I switch immediately into Jelly, and even though he gets to his Psychic again first, I still have that shield ready, and I'm already out of Shadow Ball, so... yeah, we're able to block that and pick up the game, and that pretty much sealed the deal. So, a pretty good game too. I think, like I said, knowing that mirror matchup is going to be key because I'm seeing a lot of Walrein on the lead. It's definitely a Pokemon that can close, but I think at least day one, a lot of people were testing it on the lead, and that's where I saw it most of the time. Now, this is going to be one of the shorter games I've played in a while. Bastiodon on the lead is really a problem for most of my team. Jelly is the only thing that could switch into it. So I probably should have just stayed in and baited the Earthquake to at least get a shield. But I opted to swap immediately to Jellicent here. And I'm getting hit hard by those Shadow Razor Leafs. I'm able to get a shield at least with Ice Beam. And then I'm going to just have to come in with Altaria here. Since obviously Altaria really doesn't want to face Bastiodon. Neither of them do, but Altaria in particular is going to have a hard time. So I'm hoping that I can let this go, thinking it'll be a Leaf Blade or maybe an Acid Spray. But unfortunately for me, it's going to be a Sludge Bomb. And a Shadow Sludge Bomb even does neutral damage. I mean, it really chunks, even for neutral damage. I'm able to farm down here, but this game is not looking good. All I can do is throw a Sky Attack since both of these moves are going to be resisted by Bastiodon, so I figured I'll at least throw my stab move just to get something off. Immediately swap here and see what his last is, and it's actually going to be a Shadow Torterra, so it's kind of a grass hole team with double shadows. I don't know how this guy is running this team because I can only imagine how many matches he loses horribly, but I guess against the current Walrein influx, he made out pretty well because he's able to just shield once and pretty much completely farm down with fast move damage. And that ends up being the issue in this game. You'll see I surrender with 2 shields left for, I guess left for next game. But there really wasn't an opportunity to throw a shield except for against that Sludge Bomb with Victory Bell. But it really wouldn't have helped me out too much. Because either way, I had already lost Switch at that point. Yeah, so anyway, moving into the next game, Medicham on the lead. The opponent here tries to catch the Shadow Ball on Wigglytuff. I figured something like that might happen since obviously Medicham does not want to stay in against Jellicent. So I overfarm a bit. I'm able to throw the Ice Beam at Wiggly, and this is what I was talking about in the beginning. If I just had Bubble Beam here, I'm going to lose this matchup hard, and he's just going to be able to farm down, which is ultimately what he does anyway, I suppose, but, I mean, it would have been an even easier farm for him as opposed to here where he actually has to give up a shield and farm down. So I get to almost 3 Ice Beams against Wiggly, which would have been really nice, but I got 2 Ice Beams off. And now I'm forced to come back in with Walrein and give up a shield to the play rough here. Now, looking back, I maybe didn't have to shield this. I really don't know exactly how much it does. But I was really surprised there to see Dazzling Gleam when Play Rough is definitely the move you want to run on Wigglytuff. Not sure exactly why this person is running Dazzling Gleam instead. Maybe some really like nuanced calc that they figured out, but at this ELO, it could just be maybe they don't have enough TMs to change it. Who knows? Or maybe there's something I don't know. But anyway, Wiggly goes down and Medichamp's going to come back in. I'm just throwing energy at this point. Just trying to do what I can against Medi. I still don't know what's in the back. I try to swap right after that, but he throws right away. And I get hit with Dynamic Punch. Was not expecting that. I was thinking Power Up Punch or maybe a Psychic. But it's Dynamic Punch, which I haven't seen in a while on Medicham. Now that I know he has Dynamic Punch, I feel like I'm pretty safe to not shield. I don't know many people that would run Dynamic Punch, Ice Punch on Medicham. So I let that go. It ends up being a Psychic. And then he's going to swap to his Cast Form here. So I throw the Sky Attack into the Cast Form. I didn't really want to switch, or I'm sorry, I couldn't switch. I'm down to my last here. That's right. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happens here, actually. I think my opponent kind of misplays here. Because they let this go. You're going to see I throw a Sky Attack and they decide to save their shields for Medicham and let that go. But I think they really wanted to take my last shield there. Because now they're able to get to a move right here just before I get to my Sky Attack. And I still have my shield left. So all I have to do is shield this and farm down, and that's going to be the game. I actually do get to my Sky Attack, but there's no point throwing it since he still has a shield, so I just fast move down. Now, yeah, I think if I was my opponent there, I would have shielded Cast Form and tried to get off the Thunder, if he was running Thunder on Rainy Cast Form, but maybe it was just Weather Ball, Water, and something else. So, able to win what seemed like a losing game there. Against this Azu lead, I stay in and just go for the straight Earthquake. I figure he's probably going to let it go since Azu's fairly bulky. And obviously Icicle Spear is not going to do much, so I do get a shield, and since I got the shield, I decided to swap to Jellicent there, figuring, if he wants to stay in, then maybe it's better to save Walrein for later. I'm going to take this Play Rough, which does about 30% or so to Jellicent, and he comes into Galarian Stunfisk, which tells me whatever's in the back is really something that doesn't want to deal with water. Because if his best answer to Jellicent is a Galarian Stunfisk, then he's really not that prepared to deal with it on the back line. So I'm going to shield this. I'm able to correctly shield the Earthquake here, which is nice. He didn't go for the Rock Slide bait, but rather went for the Earthquake. Most people wouldn't shield Jellicent in that scenario because it's fairly bulky, and I probably would have been able to take that, but I can see that he doesn't want to deal with this Jellicent, and that's why he shielded that. He's trying to hang on and see if he can take me out. I get to another Shadow Ball here, and I believe, I shielded this thinking it might be another Earthquake. I wasn't really counting at that point. I'm not sure if he had the Earthquake and baited there, or if he wasn't quite there and just threw the Rock Slide because he knew I was at a Shadow Ball. But in any case, I shield the Rock Slide. I'm able to throw my Shadow Ball to take it out, and Azu comes back in. So, again, Azumarill can't really do a whole lot here. I'm able to get to another Shadow Ball, but because he threw right here, I'm not going to be able to utilize it. I could have probably farmed Stunfisk better and got off one more Hex before throwing again, and that would have helped me throw that Shadow Ball there. But in any case, I go down. I'll bring Walrein back in because obviously I don't want Altaria to take a Play Rough or an Ice Beam. Walrein's going to come in here, take this Play Rough, and now we're going to see what he probably has left in the back. Or maybe no, he doesn't switch yet. Sorry. I'm going to throw another Earthquake. Now that shields are down, this should do a decent chunk of damage here. And once Azu's in the red here, it's really just a quick Icicle Spear to take it out. I probably could have farmed a little more there again, but like I said, I don't know what's in the back at this point, so better to just get rid of it quickly. In comes Talonflame. So now this is a little bit tricky here. I throw my Icicle Spear. I haven't obviously played this matchup before, so I wasn't sure. I knew this was neutral damage, but I wasn't sure exactly how much it was going to do. It did a decent amount there, but now I'm worried about getting farmed down by these Incinerates and then having to deal with the Flame Charge Brave Bird combo play, which is exactly what's about to happen. He goes Flame Charge here because obviously his win con is to get those 2 moves off. If he went straight Brave Bird there, I'm not going to go down, and then he's going to be debuffed. And with his defense low, I could just Dragon Breath him down. So he has to throw Flame Charge first. He's got to throw this Brave Bird here, which is going to get the KO before I can get to a move. But now he's debuffed, and I'm basically at the Icicle Spear. Walrein gets to those Icicle Spears extremely fast. So it's really just a quick Icicle Spear. I probably didn't even have to throw it, to be honest. I could have just probably Powder Snowed, but with the threat of the Incinerate coming through, I figured it was best to just finish it up. So we get the win there. This next game is a Primeape lead, which is a pretty spice pick, to be honest, and didn't expect to see it, but I think it might be somebody running a potential anti-Walrein team. So with Primeape on the lead, I swapped to Jelly, and he swaps to Skarmory, which apparently is his best answer. So I'm able to go straight Shadow Ball. He lets that through since Skarmory is pretty tanky. He's able to eat that. Here, I wasn't quite counting these air slashes, so I wasn't sure if he got to a Brave Bird yet. I know it's 7 for Brave Bird, but like I said, I didn't really count. I was thinking that he might know that jellies don't usually shield and just throw his Brave Bird and see if he could take back switch there, especially since he didn't shield earlier. I thought that might be his play. So I shield that up. I'm going to throw my Shadow Ball here again. And again, he doesn't shield, so I guess he really didn't want to prioritize that Skarmory at all. Or I guess more likely it's that this team is so squishy that he figured he can't spare any shields on Skarmory. He has to save his shields for things like Primeape and Beedrill, because the Shadow Beedrill is extremely weak. As you can see, a neutral Shadow Ball from Jellicent basically one-hit KOs. So he lets that through. I think he expected me to bait there, and that cost him the game, because if you're going to save shields, that was the time to shield for sure. But he doesn't shield. He throws his Drill Run to take me out, and then immediately swaps to Primeape. I'm not really sure why, because I had already won Switch, so there really wasn't a point in doing that. I obviously was going to switch out, but I guess he figured he would take his chances on whatever I had in the back. So this was kind of, I actually wasn't really expecting the Ice Punch here. I thought he would be running Night Slash Close Combat. I just shielded just for the sake of shielding, really, because I knew that I had to keep Altaria healthy against this Primeape, and counter is really not doing anything to me, so I can kind of stay in this pretty comfortably. But I shield the Ice Punch, and he doesn't quite get to another move, or if he did, he maybe overtapped, but he's going to go ahead and surrender there because all he has left is that extremely weak Beedrill in the back, and he knew it was over. Yeah, going into the last game here, Cough Egregious on the lead. Again, another matchup I'm not really familiar with. That's going to be the case for most of these matchups, being that I've never used Walrein before. I go for the Icicle Spear just to see how much it's going to do. Obviously, Cough Egregious is a very tanky Pokemon, so takes it pretty well. He's going to throw a Shadow Ball here, but I kind of have the same thought. Maybe I'll just see how this goes and see how much damage it does. I decide not to shield. But seeing how much it does, I probably should have shielded. But he throws the Shadow Ball, immediately goes to Vigoroth, trying to kind of snipe my Walrein there. I'm just going to go to Altaria because counter doesn't do much of anything to it. So I felt pretty safe switching to Altaria. I could have also switched to Jellicent, but then Hex is resisted by Vigoroth, so I'd have to go straight Ice Beam to do any kind of meaningful damage. So I think Altaria was the right call. I take that Body Slam and go for a Sky Attack of my own, which he lets go, surprisingly. I thought he would maybe try to win back Switch, but he lets it go. He's going to throw another Body Slam, which I'm going to let go as well, and just keeping the pressure with the Dragon Breath there, trying to get to another Sky Attack, and he doesn't get to another Body Slam in time. So with Vigoroth down, Azumarill comes in. I'm able to get to a Sky Attack against that Azu. And yeah, I mean, I'm in a pretty decent position here. I have a very healthy Jellicent in the back, and Walrein is still there in case I need to kind of sack swap it, um, or just to have some play. And that's what I try to do there is I'm noticing that he's just trying to kind of farm Altaria down there, or at least hanging on to a little too much energy. So I get to another Sky Attack and then just swap out, preserving the Sky Attack for later. I bring in Walrein and throw the Icicle Spear, which I know isn't going to do much to Azumarill, but it gets him out and back into Cofagrigus. And like I said, Walrein gets to the Icicle Spear extremely fast, so I'm able to even get one more off before going down to Cofagrigus. And now I'm in a shield advantage position, so I believe what I do is go into Jellicent here, since Altaria just has that one Sky Attack. Now we're both doing super effective ghost damage to one another, but because I have shield advantage, I feel pretty safe here, and I don't really need shields against Azumarill. Cofagrigus is really the last threat, so I can kind of just fast move down here, which is what I end up doing. Because Cofagrigus, even with Shadow Claw, is going to take a little bit of a while to get multiple Shadow Balls off. So I'm able to double shield here, shielding both Shadow Balls, and just farming down with Hex. And now I've got lots of energy left to deal with that Azu. He still has one more shield, but 2 Shadow Balls is going to be enough to chunk this thing pretty badly. And then I've still got that Altaria with Sky Attack left. So we get the last shield. I throw in Altaria, figuring he's not going to throw anything right away. I get that last Sky Attack off, and then Altaria is going to go down pretty quickly. So I don't have to worry about giving my opponent extra farm. This was interesting. This must have been a misplay. I think maybe he meant to throw at the same time as Jellicent, but Altaria switched in and beat him on the CMP tie, because I can't see why you would want to throw there. Like, there's no way he thought that I had 2 Sky Attacks loaded. So, unfortunately for my opponent, he wastes energy throwing out like a 1 HP Altaria. I'm able to come back in and throw another Shadow Ball to win the game. So, that's going to do it for the battles. Like I said, obviously that was 7 battles, so more than one set. I kind of just stitched together some from each. There were definitely a few games where I got hard countered by fighting leads, especially if it's like a fighting lead with Sableye in the back or a Scrafty lead in particular. Scrafty really dominates this team because Walrein doesn't want to see it. Jellicent doesn't want to see those foul plays coming at it and can't really hit Scrafty at all. And Altaria, I guess, would be the one safe matchup, but typically you can't swap in Altaria because they generally have a good counter to it in the back. So against Scrafty leads, I felt kind of hopeless. Definitely lost against 2 or 3 of those. But other than that, yeah, the one tech I would make to this team is maybe trying out Jellicent with Bubble Beam, because I didn't really feel like in those games Ice Beam on Jellicent really won me anything. There's very few instances where you can hit something for super effective damage with Ice Beam that are going to come in to Jellicent. So, yeah, but I mean, that pretty much does it for these. Personally, I don't know if I'll keep running Walrein in this league. I think it's going to be a lot more fun in Ultra League than in Open Great League. So actually, yeah, you'll see my next video. I'm trying to put together a little bit of an anti-Walrein team while it's still hot in Great League and see how that does. So that'll be coming soon. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you next time.